Hey, my name is Ben Lewis. I'm the founder of Neural Shunt Media. We're a creative and design firm that's based out of Somerville, Massachusetts. One of my most recent projects is something called Square Game. It's a relatively simple board game where you're taking pieces and you're putting them together to make squares. Let me tell you a little bit more about that. So, as we all know from geometry, there's a lot of different shapes that are out there. There are circles. It's not a very good circle, but that's still kind of a circle. There are also triangles. Sweet. 3 lines, looks like a triangle. But today, we're going to be dealing with squares. Woo! What you do with Square Game is rather than drawing lines, what you're doing is you're taking the pieces that I've designed, putting them together, and making a square. But what makes it particularly interesting is how you're doing it. Because what you're doing is you're taking your pieces and they're being laid out in the board, and as you're doing it, you're taking the action. So this says play, so I get to play another piece. This says move, I get to move another piece. And that's where it gets interesting. Because say that somebody already has made their square. Look at that. That's pretty awesome. The white player is pretty psyched. They've got a really sweet square right there. But, you know, I've been working pretty hard, and I almost had a square right over here. I thought I was getting close. What I could do is I could play a piece like that to complete my square, or I could make it a little bit more interesting. I could play that piece right there and break their square. And that's how Square Game works. So now you know a little bit more about Square Game. I've already gotten help from a bunch of my friends in order to do early beta testing of the game to make sure that it actually is as fun as we thought it was going to be. And now I need your help. I'm creating a second beta version of the game that's going to be available only through IndieGoGo. And when you purchase it, you'll be able to get that version. And I'm also going to throw in an extra special piece. I'm not going to tell you what it is yet, but it's going to be limited and exclusive for this beta run of Square Game. Hopefully you're already interested in backing Square Game. But I'm also going to give you another option to help us out a little bit more. And by us, I don't mean me. I mean the victims of the recent incident in Nice. So with any of the options where you can support Square Game, I'm going to be adding an additional option to add funds that are going to be donated to help the victims of the recent incident in Nice. You'll notice that with the minimal amounts, there will be an option to add an additional $5 that will go to a charity to support those victims. And I am also going to be doing a limited edition version of Square Game that is going to be released in November that will be specifically a version to support essentially the key values of France. Liberté, égalité, fraternité. So It will be a special version of Square Game called Les Bleus. You will see that in the options for supporting this. And if you want to, then that will actually be a 50-50 split, where half of the funds would be to create the Les Bleus version of Square Game, and then the other half of the funds will be to go to causes that champion liberté, égalité, fraternité. So hopefully that you will join me in backing not only my most recent project, but also backing the victims of the incident in these. Thank you.